come to realize how hard it is to get rid of things. I've come to realize as a middle-aged man that it is easy to acquire things. It's an emotional high, it's a desire, it's an excitement that we need in life to keep us going. But also, to keep us going, we need our well being. We need peace of mind. We need less stress. I've discovered that most humans, even if they don't say it, are struggling with stress, anxiety, sometimes depression. But everyone from way high up in society to way low and in the middle. Mental health is like a thing that affects all humans. Okay, some people deal with it better than others. Some people talk about it more than others. And what I found is humans are quick to buy and slow to downsize, slow to throw out because of the emotional attachment. The emotions is the answer key to the downsizing minimalistic life. Emotions. It's nothing to do with logic. It has everything to do with emotions. I went to look back at the Class B van motorhome that I was looking at purchasing. And I went already once a week ago, and I stepped away from it because I always say anytime you spend more than $5,000, step away from it for at least 48 hours to let your emotions vent out. And that's the reason that many car dealers and many RV dealers, many people who are in the sales business, when you're on the lot, when you're in the moment, they want you to sign the paperwork because statistics show that when you walk off the lot, you are like 75% unlikely to buy it. But while you're on the lot, you feel the pressure to please the salesperson, to show respect to their time, and you're an adrenaline rush because you see something that is cosmetically desirable, a car, RV, even a house, right? And it's a very tough decision, okay? And so we as humans give into peer pressure. The biggest lesson I've learned is if you look back at your life and you ask yourself, why did you start drinking alcohol? Why did you start smoking cigarettes? Why did you do a lot of things that were bad, logically made no sense, but emotionally pulled on your strings? Like who in their right mind would pick up a cigarette that I remember the first time I smoked a cigarette at like the age of 11. It was horrible. I coughed up. It wasn't enjoyable. It smelled nasty. I remember the first time I drank alcohol, it tastes nasty, didn't like it. I rather would have had soda. But we do it to please those around us, to impress them, to help them. And same thing with being on a car lot. We do it, we want to please the salesman. We want to please ourselves too. That's one layer, okay, of dissecting minimalism. Because the first step to minimalism is not buying. I do a lot of videos that to downsize, don't get a storage unit, get trash bags. And I'll take it a step further tonight. To downsize, don't put anything down, don't sign paperwork, walk away. Because if you don't buy, you don't have. Super chat coming in strong. Pluto, damn it, Pluto. You've been very kind to me, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your love and support. He goes, I'm living my best life. The negative today, spilled water on my laptop and broke it, laughing. Life is never perfect, but we have to stay positive. Well, Pluto, I appreciate that. What I like about living a minimalistic life is that everything I own is disposable, even including my car. In one sense, having a 5-year-old car with 200,000 miles on it, I don't stress if something breaks down, as long as it's not a major thing. Um, if I spill coffee on my shirt or on my laptop, I don't stress because that's pretty much, I don't have much. I just have a bag of clothes and one basic laptop from Walmart that's 4 years old, other than my work laptop. So when you live a minimalistic life, everything's disposable. And that's less stress. Kathy, great to see you. And Pluto, like I tell you, I think for some people, I think for all people, minimalism at a certain level is great. Not just good, great. I think for another level of minimalism, for some people who get extreme, like myself, you, those who live as a nomad, and even all nomads are not minimalist. You know, they could have a Class A, they could have a fifth wheel. And even me looking at this Class B van, I kind of feel like it would take me away from the extreme minimalism I'm in. And in one sense, it's good. It'll give me comfort. But in the other sense, if I spill coffee on my $100,000 RV, I wouldn't feel as happy as if I spilled coffee in my 5-year-old car that's probably worth like $5,000 right now. But the one good thing about this minimalistic life, whatever range of the spectrum, is, to Pluto's point, we always have a cracked phone. We always have spilled coffee. You can never avoid that. Like today, I got caught a little bit in a rainstorm, and then the sun came out again. I love Florida. But when I got caught in the rainstorm, my shirt got soaked, and I just a regular basketball shirt, and I just did my laundry. All my nomads do your laundry once a week and your bed sheets twice a month. Every weekend, hygiene key. Every day, shower to gym, etc. We'll go to live comments. Hal, great to see you. Kathy, again, we're going to go to your comments. But I want to make the note that it's helped me mentally, because I would stress. It's helped me mentally if something does break, if something does spill, if I don't have a lot of it, or if it's not too expensive. It's just less stress. Mental health, some of it, is simply less stress. You know, and, you know, you're living with someone else. And that's why for me, even like owning property and renting it out, a lot of people ask me why I didn't rent out my condo, why I sold it. I don't want the stress. I will say now, after living 4 years, probably one of the most extreme minimalistic person you'll meet. Living out of my car for 4 years out of one bag, no storage unit, no house, nothing. I could see, after you strip your life down and you discipline yourself for a while, I could see you adding some things because you could be able to handle it because you're a lot more focused and intentional, but you have to be very careful. We're going to go all off comments, but I want to say this. I went back to look at that Class B RV today, and I really like it, and I'm really considering it. But it is really expensive. Now, I'll do a video on it, but look, it'd be below my means, because let's just say, well, it's $137,000. If I bought a house today for $137,000, would it be below my means? Yes, as long as I maintain my main job. But here's the negative, a house versus a motorhome. If I buy a house over time, it retains and appreciates in value more. A RV pretty much goes down in value for the most part. So, but I do feel like it would not put me into the average life, because it's still a minimalistic life living out of a camper van. But it would increase my levels of having to care for something and maintain something and think about something. And so when I look now at buying something, whether a home base, RV, travel trailer, I think about, well, how is it not just going to affect my wallet? Because I am a cheap bastard, but, you know, I think about also my mental health and my well-being. Because what I've learned is I can't eliminate stress in life. Again, to Pluto's point, I have tried to eliminate everything. The most relationships I can that are unhealthy, the most things, everything. And I'm glad I did. I have no regrets. And, oh man, we're going to get to live comments. I see some good stuff. I have no regrets on anything I've downsized on. I'm very thankful that I was able to do it at such a young age. If you can downsize, don't quit your job, but if you can downsize, do it now. Okay. The more you downsize, the more options you have, the less stress you have. But I think about how emotional it has been for me to go on a car lot, to go on a RV lot, to go visit a home. How emotional it's been and how hard it's been to walk away. It's very hard. And then I think about how hard it was for me to throw out stuff that I bought. And then I think about, wow, minimalism, to get there and to stay there is so hard. Now, here's the flip side. It's so worth it because when you spill coffee or when something breaks, it's not fun. It's never fun. You can never eliminate some stress of life, but it's never overwhelming for the most part, most times. You know, you don't have, in one sense, the camel that breaks the straws, the straw that breaks the camel's back sometimes could be one little thing, but it's because you got so many things. And I really do feel to the day I leave this earth, I'll be somewhat a minimalist. Now you say, you know, if the money goes up to a certain level, is that really necessary? Yeah, you know, look, I mean, I guess I have to catch myself, right? Because let's say I had $3 billion. I wouldn't live in a car with $3 billion. So I'm talking this out with you. Because one of my main core goals is I want to be as financially independent as possible because I want to depend on people less. I want to live more on my terms. I mean, I think about it now sometimes when I have a bad day. I think about, man, I could rent an apartment. I could rent a room. And most people, even people that are working basic jobs, they're able to do it. I mean, I'm definitely able to do it. But I don't want to go to that life. I'm not at peace with going back to an apartment. Or a house. I don't know. I'm not there yet. There's something about the adventure of this life. It's stressful at times, but it's also an adrenaline rush. I can't tell you. It's like I think about sometimes like settling down and I get bored out of my fucking mind. You know I could do it. It's like, it's basic, but I know that I don't know if I'm ready to do it, you know? So thank you for being patient with me. I want to go to live comments. We got some great members in here. Pluto, thank you again. Thank you to all my members. ESP, I see you too. Love to you. Let me take a hydration break, guys. We'll read your comments. But this video is just to really share. I got some more things to share, but it's really just to share. Look, I found a level of peace in having less things. I have found that even if you have basically nothing, you cannot eliminate stress. But I have found that you can mitigate stress. You can mitigate risk so that you can focus your time, your energy, and your resources on things that you want to deal with. And when something goes bad, it's not a complete disaster, and you could just keep moving forward. So but I struggle, man. I think about this guy, and again, forgive me, guys, for being a little bit long-winded. I love you. I think about, you know, this motorhome that I'm looking at, this Class B van. When I went to look at it a week ago, it just came to the dealer. And like 2 days after it came, someone was going to buy it. And when I went yesterday to look at it again, they said, now, you know, someone's bought it, but it looks like the financing fell through. Which back in the day, I went to buy a car and the financing fell through, so I don't judge. But I said to myself, wow, you know, you'd see someone driving this expensive motorhome, you say that they're doing great, but really they're barely able to afford it. You know, why would they buy it? Because it's such an emotional thing. I mean, I felt it again today watching it. You know how hard it was to not sign paperwork? Very hard. And for me, it's not like a complete win. There's some downside to that. I'll do a separate video about a Class B downsize. Not downsize, but downside. There's downsize and downside. That sounds crazy. But take a hydration break, guys. Go all live comments. Love to you, man. Yeah, overall, though, I tell you, I just love Florida, man. Even with a rainstorm, it was still sunny today. And I need to be outdoors, man. I can never go through another winter. I know that more and more as I get older. And My love for Florida just grows greater. Really does. I'm very thankful for that. I hope that on your downsizing journey, you find at least where you want to spend most of your time. For some people, like I know ESP, I joke with her a lot, but I know she really does love Alaska. I mean, I'm sure she wants to leave in the winter, and she may. I think she'll do that next year, and I'm glad. I'm proud of her. Um, but you have to be inspired. All right, we're going to all live comments. Pluto, man, thank you again, brother. Great comment. You keep pushing forward. Shout, how's your brother Tariq doing, Pluto? Kathy, for many people, emotions are hard to manage and control. Another excellent comment, Kathy. I think for most people, including myself, I mean, I would consider myself, by the grace of God and hard work, a little bit more disciplined than the average person, but I could still be broken. And I have been. And I feel the pain of, like I say, whether it's going on the car lot, whether it was yesterday I had shared the live feed about, a guy aggravating me at the park and me just keeping my mouth shut. It's very hard to do. These are all emotional things. But what I found is the less things I have, the more control I have over my emotions because I'm not pulled in so many directions. And that's what we're talking about with minimalism is focus. What are we talking about when we're talking about an overwhelmed mind? We're talking about anxiety. We're talking about stress. We're talking about depression. Now, again, I've made live feeds about struggling, even feeling down, depressed, angry, sad, even living a minimalistic life. But every time I feel that, I feel encouraged knowing that I just have to get through this bad moment and I don't have to worry about a lot of the stuff. My minimalism helps me get through bad times and eliminates some unnecessary bad times. And it's the gift that keeps giving as best you can in this world. Hal, he goes, I downsized today and I got rid of a lot of clothes. Great job. I am out of the house on Monday. I'll be praying for you. I know February 13th was a big day that you're moving out of your ex-girl's house, and I've been praying for you. But I know you're scared. I was scared coming again to Florida, even though I've done it many times. You're never not going to be scared, but you are going to gain more strength, and before you know it, you will empower yourself because you are way more talented and intelligent than you think of yourself sometimes, all of us. Even great people that I've met along my journey. I always share one interesting thing I always thought. I've been blessed with some beautiful girls I've been able to date. And sometimes what I found was the most beautiful girls were the most insecure. Now, they know they look good. They didn't think like they looked bad. But they struggled with a lot of things. As far as just feeling at peace with who they are. Because, I don't know if it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, look good because, like your looks are what draws attention. So I don't know. It's just, I'm getting off track. But back to your comment, and then we'll continue to read. He goes, I try to fit what I need to take with me. I will be living in my Dodge Journey. I've been looking at some Dodge Journeys. I was trying to figure out what car it is. Now I know what car you're talking about. It's like a station wagon. Game had it in one of his video shoots. He goes, I will be living in my Dodge Journey till hopefully I get this apartment. Well, if you're going to be living in your Dodge Journey in the winter in New York or New Jersey, it's going to be tough because February and March are the worst months. And you're going right in the dead of winter. So you could still do it. I did it. So don't fear it. But this is what you need to do. You have to have a thermal rated Walmart sleeping bag, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. They're about $50. It's a must. Guys know me. I'm a minimalist when it comes to camping gear. And in the beginning of living in my car in the winter, I did not buy a sleeping bag. And I found out I had to cave. And I had to buy a thermal sleeping bag from Walmart. It's about $50, $60, and it was worth every penny. I even kept it for a year when I came to Florida just because I knew I would have to go back to New Jersey eventually. I threw it away now, but you need that, and you need some layers of clothes, some long johns, etc. But it's good. It's tough, man. And you got to take it one day at a time. And you got to look to see maybe get a night shift job. I always tell you, if you guys are really in a tough situation and you have to live in your car and you don't want to, or it's not really good for you, or it's not easy for you, etc., one thing that can really tilt the thing in your favor is if you can get a night job at Planet Fitness, at Home Depot, at Walmart, something where you work at night. That way you eliminate the biggest stress of living in your car, which is where to park and to sleep peacefully. Okay. So if you work at night, then you can go to a public park during the day and nap in your car and sleeping, and you'd be fine in most instances. And thank God that you got that unemployment. Save that. Yeah, even with Hal, you got no kids. With the extended unemployment, you're not able to just get into like an Airbnb for like $800 a month or something, or you don't want to, or rent. I'm sure you could rent a room at least for that, just to maybe at least to get you out of winter, for 2 months. We're already in the second week of February, so let me know what you think about that, Pluto. For a studio apartment in North Cali, it's 2,000, I think he said. 2,200 monthly. I am nomading in a brand new car, renting them for 1,100. This is an interesting comment. For 1,100, the difference I'm saving every month. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I still think that you could probably rent an apartment or room cheaper if you looked in an area that was a little bit more in the suburbs, probably away from San Francisco or something. And you also have to consider your gas and your food. When you live in your vehicle, whether a camper van, well, I would say when you live in your car or van, your two costs that are going to be higher than living in an apartment is your fuel, but mainly your food. Because you're not going to go like to Walmart and buy a bunch of food and just store it and heat it up. You're going to be eating out almost every day. And I would say it's very easy to spend at least $30 a day in food. If you add up all your drinks, your coffee, all your food, everything, and $30 a day in food is $900 a month, because you take 30 times 30, there's average 30 days in a month. So that's $900. I would say if you're living in an apartment, you could probably definitely do that for half, easy, if not 200. And you could probably even not spend that in a car, but I would say most nomads are probably spending $20 to $30 a day in food. For most. There's some that live on a very, very cheap, but I would say for most. But it's a more freeing life. Look, obviously living in North California is not an extreme hardship with extreme weather. Living in North Jersey would be. So, weather is a major factor for a nomad. One of the major attributes of a nomad is that they mostly travel with the weather. When a hurricane came, I went up to Jersey. When there was a national emergency, I went back. So, I would never make the statement that living in your car is cheaper, because I really don't feel it is for most people. Like I say, I think you can rent a room for probably cheaper, especially if you're renting a car, but it's a different lifestyle. And I thought about you too, Pluto, also, that, if I got a camper van, if I got a Class B, one of my biggest negatives that I have a tough time getting over is, well, what if I ever needed to DoorDash again? Now, I haven't DoorDashed in at least a year, so I would only do it if I had to, if I lost my main job or something went awry. But I said, well, I could just park the RV, because I'd probably get the Thousand Trails camping pass if I'm going to get this RV. And then, buy a cheap $10,000 car and do that, or rent a car. I know you can rent a car for about $800 a month. It would cut in on some of the profit, but if I really had to, now, I don't know if I would really have to. I mean, I would probably try to get another main job in the first 6 months, and then it would just eliminate another option. But it could be done again through renting a car, or just buying a cheap car and leaving your rig at the campground, Ubering, and I don't know. It's you can figure it out, but it's more cost effective. It's not as minimalistic, so it's more complex, and that could be more stress. It's going to be more stress. But I'm just talking this out with you. So yeah, Pluto lives in his vehicle in North California, rents it for about $1,000 a month. So he doesn't have air conditioning, doesn't have heating, but he has freedom. Now, you say, well, how free is it if you have to find parking every night? Well, it's true. It's more of an adventure freedom than it is like just everything's great all the time. I still love the nomadic lifestyle. I really have. Forgive me, guys, for being long-winded. I'm going to get to all live comments. Thank you for your graciousness. I really have a tough time, even when I see decent priced houses that look pretty good. And even though I love Florida, I know, you guys know, I'm not going to have a home base anywhere else. I don't even really want to go anywhere else other than if it's a hurricane coming. So I said to myself, all these things tell me, like, why not just settle down? I'm not going anywhere. I can't bring myself mentally to being in a house. I almost want to throw up when I think about being in a sheetrock walled house or apartment. There's something in my mind that does not excite me. Now, it is true, there's times I get very frustrated always being in the public, and that doesn't excite me. I guess I'm searching for now a level of balance, but I am a little bit of an extreme person. I like it all or nothing. I mean, right or wrong, that's how I am. And knowing yourself is the key to all decisions. I mean, I'd be going from living in a 5-year-old car to a luxury RV, so I don't know, but it'd still be on wheels. Now, being that it's on wheels, it's good to appreciate. So it's something I have to think about. Let's go back to live comments. How life is about to get real. I am ready for changes that are about to happen. Well, I think it'll be good because, like I say, how as much as I hate the term, we need to be challenged because I want to make my life easier. I don't want to be challenged, but we do need to be challenged. And as we empower ourselves and we do things we don't want to do, we get to choose more of our challenges than challenges that are brought to us. And that's why I encourage everyone out there to go out there, figure out a way to earn your income, take care of your health. You never want to go to the gym. You always feel better when you get out of the gym. You never want to go to work. You always feel better when direct deposit comes. Shout out to Tony Guerrero. He knows what I'm talking about. And I don't say that, guys, because I want to make people's life harder, including my own. But I say that because I feel empowered through the challenges that you overcome. And like I say, Hal, you're too talented to be living below your potential. You got too good at people skills. You're 6'6". You're a strong guy. You should not be hiding your life in an apartment. You are not disabled. You are not mentally challenged in an extreme way. I tell you the same thing I told Journey with Jordan is, look, if you're in an emergency, you got laid off, I've been there. There's nothing wrong with falling back and licking your wounds. And there's nothing wrong with changing a job if you want a job that plays more to your passions. There's nothing wrong with retiring early if you inherited something or if you made a lot of money. But you gotta max out your potential in some way. Like I say, if you're retired, whether you're retired age or you inherited money, you should be working out. You should be doing, whether it's charity or doing something creative or doing something that's, that puts energy into something part of your day. And if you're unemployed, you should be going out there and getting back to do something you like and something that earns money, because there's no way that your best life is going to be just hibernating in an apartment and licking your wounds your entire life, especially for my people out there that are not seriously disabled. And I have people in my family, look, they're disabled. And even some, as I get older, there's definitely mental issues, because there was something I heard today, and it's just like, I don't know, man, mental health is definitely real. And there's some people that, sometimes they play a game. That's what's hard about mental health, because even people that have mental health problems, severe ones, not just regular ones, they're human. So they're going to test the limits and they're going to manipulate the system a little bit because they're human. But there's still something wrong with some people at a level where they don't understand people in life and they don't get it. And like I say to my conservative friends sometimes, which you don't understand, and I guess I understand a little bit because I got family members, because I've seen it, and because I've worked all my life, I can speak with confidence, is that there's certain people I don't know if they should not work and always be bunkered down, but they just, uh, there's certain people you wouldn't want working at Starbucks or working in a corporation. They just don't grasp it, or even working as a nurse. But I don't want to say that they can't do anything, because they still have talents. That's the tough part about society to try to figure out, is like, how do you take care of those who are really mentally or physically ill, but at the same time, don't let them just deteriorate to this nothingness that is even worse for them. It's a tough balance, man. Look, part of it is just individuality. It's like, government and society should and do a certain level, and then certain level of it is, it's everyone has the choice to do or not to do, and you're going to suffer the consequences or be rewarded based on your choices. That's the dynamic, and that's always the political contention, is that, you want some things, but you don't want things to get out of balance where the tail wags the dog. It's a tough balance. But we're going to go to the next live comment. Thank you guys again for being patient. Thank you to all my members. You guys have been gracious. Is that what I tell you, Hal, what I tell Journey, what I tell everyone out there that is in a rut, that doesn't feel confident or empowered? Don't hide your whole life. Reposition your life. Do some things you don't want to do and make your life better. I shared the story the other night. I want to share it again. Is that I remember when I was getting burnt out in the corporate life, and part of the reason I was getting burnt out because I wasn't living a level of minimalism. I was living above my means. I wasn't managing my money. So I was working hard, but I wasn't getting ahead, and I was stressing. And that made me want to get out of the corporate life and just do a basic job and say, forget everything. But that wasn't the answer. That was the easy scapegoat. And then I remember going to like Lowe's Hardware, and I saw a guy working for like $10, $12 an hour. And I said, I'll just do what he does. And I watched him work for a while, and I watched the morning team meeting where the manager came and he was giving him a big pep talk. And I said to myself, I just felt like, I would do it because I'll do any job. I'll clean a toilet bowl if I had to. I don't have no shame. I'm not scared of work. But I know that if I did that, it'd be okay if it was an emergency, but it's below my potential. As you say, well, what about DoorDash? Well, guys, I did DoorDash as a side hustle so I can ensure another level of independence on the road, and I haven't done it in a year. I did it for about 2-3 months to get the baseline data and understand it, and then I stopped. If I needed to do it, I would do it. If I needed to clean a toilet bowl, I would do it. To me, work is work. I would try, though, to progressively get better. Because minimalism and downsizing and living below your means does not mean living below your potential. A lot of people fail that way. And it's a shame, because a lot of people are a lot more intelligent than they think. They're good caretakers. They're good nurses. They're good construction workers. They're good IT workers. They have a lot of brilliance, but they also have a lot of apathetic mindset. And like I tell you guys, if you think freedom is look, the Dollar Tree is great. My mom shops there. There's nothing wrong if you need it. And I would still shop there. I went there a couple weeks back. I don't buy much, but what I'm trying to tell you is, don't fall into the mindset of shopping at the Dollar Tree is my financial independence. You can get by doing that, but you want to get ahead. Now, if you have severe mental or physical problems, or you're caught in a rut, you're in a divorce, you got a lot of child support, you got a lot of kids, or whatever you're going through, then yeah, look, I do what you got to do. But I know people, they went through a divorce, and they were very talented in the workforce. Okay. And what they decided to do, because of the stress of everything, they just wanted to drop out of the workforce. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm saying that you have a lot more potential than that to make your life better. Another example, then we'll go back to live comments, is I remember looking at, I was in a convenience store, and a minimum wage worker was getting someone's coffee. And her manager was stressing her out, or she was stressed out by the people behind the line because there was a big line for coffee. Did you ever go in Starbucks and see sometimes in the morning how big the line is? You know how stressful that is for some people to work behind the counter? And you know who comes to Starbucks? A lot of unemployed people that they want a triple pump of this, a single pump of this. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I have had unemployed people want the best customer service you've ever seen in your life. It's a weird dynamic. Like they could never put up with someone as picky as them, but they're pickier than anyone else. It's very wild. So if you're going to have to stress a little, max out your potential, max out your earnings. That way, the more financially independent you become, the more you can choose your passion over sometimes maybe the purse strings. You have more options. But you have to pay your dues, and you have to get off the bench and be willing to get in the game and miss a shot. You know, you don't become a starter by being perfect. You know, you become a starter by, one is you just have to be willing to miss a shot. What I found is with mental health and with just mental health, not with mental problems per se, but with mental health that everyone has, is it's the pain of being embarrassed at work, of being embarrassed online, of walking away from a car dealership or RV dealership because you feel that I have to buy it to show this salesman that I'm serious, or show, and it's very mentally painful. And that's why most people get caught in doing things they shouldn't. Peer pressure. You know, I told the car salesman, we had a great conversation. I was very honest with him. I said, today I'm not signing anything. I'm just looking. I said, I don't even want to test drive because I don't want to disrespect your time. I wanted to look again. I was very honest. And he was very accommodating. We had no problem. Just like everyone I go to, I'm very straight up. And he was like, well, I'm not trying to hard sell you, but if you want, just put the deposit down. I said, nope. And I said, look, I'm an adult. I said, I have to decide what's best for me. And right now, for me, it's just to look. And I understand. I told him, he's got to sell. And I have to, do what I need to do for me. But I felt in that moment why so many people cannot do minimalism. And again, look, I may eventually buy this RV, but I may not. I mean, I've walked away from it twice. I've lived in my car for 4 years. I've lived out of a bag for 4 years. And I've learned that a lot of it's emotion. And I've learned that humans struggle with their emotions. And I've learned that people who can't manage their own emotions, they're the first to thumbs down. They're the first to complain at a restaurant that the food isn't perfect. They're the first to complain that they didn't get 3 pumps. But doers are willing to feel the pain of the unthankful in their criticism. Doers are willing to show up. Doers are willing to do what they need to do. There's pain, okay, in going live, exposing your life. There's pain in leaving a comment. I know, and I've done it myself. Some people leave a comment on a video and then they delete it because it's very painful. And I understand, I've done it myself. Like I say, social media is very interesting mental health wise. One thing you're going to learn is, look, a lot of people struggle. And we all struggle. It's not a statement looking at others. It's all of us. Okay. Like I say, if I had to evaluate, I would say YouTube, while not very hard or complicated to do, like most things in life ain't hard and complicated. Most things in life, guys, very easy to do. But you got to fucking do them. You got to be consistent. And that's where most people fail. It's not in the ability, in most instances, to do, it's the ability to keep doing, even amongst the mental pain. YouTube is very mentally painful. You have some people in here that's had a YouTube channel. ESP, and she's wise. She does it just for like a very side thing. She don't show her face. A lot of people in here that did YouTube for a while, it's very hard. Because it's the ultimate look in your mirror. And it's the ultimate mental health check. Can you stand up to the toughest psychopaths in the world that are online anonymous? And can you overcome and keep your sanity? Now, like I say, I would say if I had a house, I wouldn't be able to do YouTube too. Well, at least 4 years ago. If I had a house and kids, it'd be very tough. I saw a guy recently who would probably be more popular than me because he appeals to a broader audience than me, but he's not consistent. And I think some of the reason he's not consistent is because he's got a family. Now, I don't think he should leave his family to be a YouTuber, but I'm making the point that our mental health can only take so many people pulling at us. Like, I could deal with a boatload of psychopaths online because, guys, I'm by myself, I'll do what I want, It's like, if I had like a wife and the kids in the next door, it'd be a disaster. Sometimes wives watch me and the husbands are happy they're watching me because I'm taking care of their wife's emotional needs. Oh, I got caught like that a couple times in real life too. The husband wants me to take care of their emotional needs of their wife, and I don't get any benefits. I don't get to bang the wife. I don't get the money. And some of the wives I don't even want to bang. Guys, I don't want to be a babysitter for your wife. Come on. Nah, see, I don't want to do that. That's what they want from you. All right, I'm getting upset. Let me take out yours. Huh. It's true. It's very true. I hate to say that. All right, back to live comments. Tony, you got the gig at Walmart at Hal? He asked Hal. ESP. I know you haven't made a decision yet, but, oh, here we go. I want to hear this. ESP, I love you. But if you buy the Class B, will you continue to nomad it or will you park it somewhere? That's a great question. I love ESP. Yeah, well, let me talk this out. So, I don't know is the first answer. My options are to get the 1,000 Trails Camping Pass, and I'd probably get the Adventure membership. It would be probably the most economic because I'm 40, and if I buy the Class B, I'm definitely committing to the nomad life for at least 5 more years. Because now I have a house on wheels, not just a car, and that gives me a safe place to park, and it's a tax write-off because technically it's tied to my YouTube channel. So that would be the most economic, simple, minimal attachment. If I don't want to do that because I'm not thrilled about being in 1,000 Trails campgrounds and some of them are like RV parks all the time, then the next step would be buy an RV lot. Now, the negative about the RV lot is it's another big financial investment. I'm attached to a community, to neighbors that aren't going to move every 2 weeks, to a HOA, to taxes. And if I'm going to go to that level of attachment, does it just make sense to not even just buy a house? I don't know. Or buy a travel trailer, I would say. And that's not a tax write-off, really, because the single tax deduction for like the regular person is $12,000. So itemized deductions with a house, even with property taxes and stuff, it wouldn't beat the normal standard deductions that are out there for the average person. Also, that's not a YouTube write-off because owning a house would really not apply to my YouTube channel. So if I buy the Class B RV, which I'm 50-50 right now, I mean, I'm serious. As serious as someone like me could be. I'm a window shopper. I ain't gonna lie about that. Someone play Mace in the background. I'm a window shopper. That's 52. But if I get the Class B, there's no doubt about it that I'm going to at least get the 1,000 Trails Camping Pass. maybe the adventure package, or at most, I buy a home base as far as an RV lot, not a house. There is one piece of property, like I said, that I looked at. I can park an RV, even has RV hookups, but it's in a bad neighborhood. Would I feel comfortable leaving a $100,000 RV in a bad neighborhood? Well, look, I have insurance on it. So, if something happens, I just file an insurance claim. But, and my Class B insurance, I got to quote it out. It'd actually be $100 less. Well, no, $200 less per year. So about, $20, $30 less per month. And that's with me full-timing. Because they do provide full-time RV insurance. And if I got into an accident with the Class B, they'd actually pay for a hotel for up to 2 weeks. So, I would feel a lot more legit. Would I lose some of my eye of the tiger, though? Yeah, look, like when you're very minimalistic, you're in survival mode, guys. And even though sometimes it sucks, it's fucking... I have a high level of focus, okay? Because I'm always fucking on edge. In one sense, I like it because it's intense, okay? And I'm intense, and if I get a Class B, it takes off some of the edge. I'm fucking sitting in comfort. I'm in a fucking luxury RV. What am I really? Yeah, I'm not living in a house, but I'm living in a house on wheels. I'm not really out there sweating, going crazy. I got my fucking AC running. I got a fucking exhaust fan. I got everything. Got a TV, leather couch. So I don't know, man. In one sense, I don't know, but I hope that answers it somewhat. But I definitely won't be stealth camping like I do now at this level. Right now, I just utilize the fact that I'm in a regular car and I maximize my stealth camping opportunities. And if the other thing is, look, if I get a Prius, I'm probably going to get a Prius Prime. If I get a Prius, I'm going to be stealth camping at our charging stations. So, I don't know. We'll see. Paul, what's up, man? If your friend was a bad influence and you've made bad choices when around them, would you cut them off, keep a distance, or neither? Well, as I look back at my life, I don't blame any of my friends because I willingly did it. And I still consider most people, even people that influenced me in a bad way, I don't blame them because I know that, we were all young, and I willingly did things. So as a middle-aged man, what I do in these live feeds is I reflect on life and I bring up that point that people don't start drinking and smoking they only do it for one reason, to impress their friends or to impress someone. So I just make that note not to blame your friends, but to understand the power of peer pressure. Now, with regards to cutting them off, I do say even friends that are like middle ground good, when you get to a certain age, and I want to say middle of your mid-20s and up, you have to start separating yourself from people that are living a different lifestyle than you and that also cause you to live below your potential because they may be threatened by your intensity. When I got into my mid-20s, I started to leave the strip clubs, not hang out, and get heavy into the church. And the reason I did that was to build up my foundation to live a healthier life. Now, yeah, I probably got a little deep in the church, but I wanted to because I wanted to really prove my life. Okay. And that by itself required separation because it's like, you can't do both things for a long period of time. Now, in the beginning of my journey, I would go to the strip club, and then right after the strip club, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd be headed to church. So, you learn that through life, but then over time, I stopped the strip club and I was just all church. And then I left the church. And then I separated from church folk. The people in the church, some of the pastors and stuff, they weren't happy with that. So there's a season where you must separate from friends, mentors, and even family. I separated myself from my father. But, you have to discern that based on what season of life and what level of growth you're trying to do. But there's a time in your life to have a Godfather poster hanging on your wall and a Scarface poster. I had that. When I first moved into a condo, Paul Soprano, I had a Scarface poster and a Godfather poster, and it was great. But when I got to my 30s, I took those posters down. Why? I evolved. I'm not going to be a middle-aged man with Scarface on my wall. I mean, guys, I'm an IT worker. You know, what I'm trying to say is the scripture. You know, it's like when I was a child, I spoke as a child, reasoned as a child. When I became adult, I put away childish things. Doesn't mean you still can't have fun. It doesn't mean like, you know, you blame your friends or your family or whoever. You just, part of life is moving on. Now, it's very hard to move on. And most people, I don't think, will move on. I don't think most people will be minimalist because it requires moving on from your storage unit, moving on from your things. It doesn't mean you can never add something again. But what it means is when you add something now, hopefully, it has a lot more intention. But I will say, look, even being a minimalist now, there's been times I've been on a car lot or RV lot or at a home, and I've almost added something, and it wouldn't have served, in one sense, a practical purpose. I mean, it would have been just a little bit of fluff. So it's very hard to control yourself, you know. But look, you're going to realize that if you keep living with them, you're not going to be in a good place mentally. They're not. You realize that if you don't go out there and build your life, you're going to be living someone else's life and you can't complain. I want to live life on my terms without hurting someone else. I don't want to live with other people. I don't want to deal with other people unless I'm getting paid for it. And if I give my time as charity, I want to give it as that, and then I don't want to get tied into a charity and be like basically consumed by the charity. I've done all those things. I've had a charity. So, you know, that's the journey that, you know, you have to go on. How? This Monday, the 8th. Oh, that's when you're moving out? This Monday, the 8th. As I make this, man. Oh, yeah. Well, it's February 6th. I thought it was already past that. Okay. This Monday, the 8th. I'll be praying for you, brother. How? I don't want to spend any money. I want to save as much as I can so I can have money for this apartment. I did see Airbnb. It gets too bad. I will take that up. I have a 0-degree mummy sleeping bag. Okay. Well, give it a shot. I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't want to tell anyone grown what to do. But I want to say this. When you're in an emergency mood, an emergency is you don't have a job. Emergency is you're going through a major life issue. You need stability so you can get back on your feet. And then you add a higher level of risk and adventure. You know, it's like guys and girls, when you don't have a job or when you're trying to do something, you need to be in a temperature control house. You need to you need to be comfortable because you need to be uncomfortable in busting your ass to get a job. I think when you live in your car and you don't have a job, I think it's a negative algorithm because I think that you're adding more instability to an unstable life. However, I always pull back and I respect you. I treat you as an adult and I want you to make your own decision. But I want to share with you, those are my viewpoints that, again, when you're in an emergency, and again, not having a steady job is an emergency. You need stability so you can focus on addressing the emergency. Because I want to be clear, living in your car is like you're in a constant emergency. It's a constant emergency when you have to go to the bathroom. You don't have one in your car. It's a constant emergency when you have to take a shower. You don't have one in your car. It's a constant emergency when a dope fiend comes up to you at night. It's a constant emergency when a cop knocks on your door. It's a constant emergency that you're in a public arena. You're not in the sanctuary of a home. However, I understand the need to want to just do your own thing, and I respect it. Pluto. My brother, Tariq, is doing good. He is also living his best life. He has his savings in place, good. No debt, praise the Lord. And wants to open up a restaurant down the line, okay. He lives the older brother. Eventually get his own, okay. Oh, he lives with your older brother. People crazy over there. Well, one is, it sounds like he's in a good position to take a little bit more risk. And that's what I mean. Like, he's stable, so he can take more risk with a restaurant. Because opening up a business is one of the most riskiest things you can do. Most businesses fail, not succeed. I had someone message me one time that I want to open up a business so I don't have to worry about someone else wanting to fire me. I said, well, you don't know much about business. I've had 3 businesses. I said, when you own your own business, the chances of you failing and not getting paid are higher than you working for someone else. So it's like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very empowering, but you have to know that. And therefore, when you go on that journey, you take that venture, and venture, the word venture means a risk. When you take that risk, you have to have some stability to subsidize, to cushion the probability that you may fail. You may blow out a brokerage account or 2 or 3. You may blow out savings. So you have to be very careful. But you have to make mistakes. You have to fail. There's no way to mastermind life without adding failure. There's no way to make the starting team without missing a shot. There's no way to be a YouTuber without being public and being criticized by someone or something. Now you can shoot back. I shoot back sometimes at the critics because they say, hey, you're a public figure. I can criticize you. I said, well, hey, you're a public figure too. As soon as you put something in the public comments, or as soon as you say something, or as soon as a leaf drops in my damn car, okay, and you feel like someone just do something at you. Guys, it's always something when you live in your car, man. Oh, I got a super chat. Eckert, damn it, I'm late on these damn super chats. Eckert, no wife, no kids, all peace and quiet and freedom. Well, Eckert, thank you for all the positive comments. And look, you've mitigated your risk and you're living your best life. And that's the beautiful Keeping Up with Bree. Hey, you, good to see you, Keeping Up with Bree. Stay confident. Don't worry about everyone lurking on your Instagram. I lurked a little bit just to check you out. You look beautiful. And thank you, Keeping Up with Bree. Thank you, Eckert. I appreciate you both. Remember that, look, like Keeping Up with Bree knows, like she wants to, it seems like, she's a nurse, but she wants to be like somewhat like a Kardashian. Okay, keeping up with Bree, keeping up with the Kardashians. And her Instagram reflects that. However, the other night, when I told her, like, I saw a picture of you, I masturbated to you, she put all her shit private. Why? Because your mental health, like, oh my God, people looking at me is crazy, right? And I understand it. I've empathized with it. It's not easy sharing your life. And Eckert, to put in all caps that you have peace, that's the good time to put all caps. Like sometimes I got psychopaths and every word they type to me is all caps. And I understand that because I remember the first email I ever sent on one of my first corporate jobs, I put all caps. And my boss came in the next morning and he was just laughing at me. I said, what you laughing at, man? He goes, Sam, let me show you something. Let me show you how to write an email. And he goes, step 1. Don't do all caps. I was like, all right. So look, how do you move up the corporate ladder? You send a bad email. Now, when you send a bad email initially, don't put a lot of people on it. Thank God I didn't have a lot of people on that email string. But guys, you should see my emails now. I got people even above me. They want me like draft their email because I'm great writing emails, guys, great. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I sucked, okay? Same thing. Go look at my playlist on live feeds. My first live feed was horrible. And I'm not saying, all I'm saying is this, you get better as you do. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't mean you'll be perfect. Doesn't mean people won't be better than you. And it doesn't mean you're going to be good at everything because there's some things I still suck at, but it means like, look, guys, if you want to live your best life, you have to be willing to take some hits. Okay. Because there's no way you're going to score a touchdown without getting touched. Okay. And once in a while, you'll see someone. I know the Super Bowl's tomorrow. I didn't even know no one was. I didn't know Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's back in that shit. Wow, man. But it's very rare that you see a player go to the end zone without ever being touched. So it may happen once in a while, but the averages are for you to get in that end zone, you're going to get hit. Okay. And without that hit, you don't get the glory. Okay. So you say, well, I don't want to get hit. Then you stay on the bench. But I tell you this, you stay on the bench, you also ain't getting in the end zone. Okay. So you ain't getting in those panties. Thank you again, Eckert, and keeping up with Bree. And thank you, Pluto. Back to live comments, guys. Pluto. I read that. Okay, well, yeah, I read that. ESP. True. I'm saving a lot on food and gas while I'm taking a break. Yeah, ESP lived in a NV200 camper van. I think those are a great compromise between the van life and a regular car, because they're pretty much like a regular car. It's like a small SUV. So I would definitely recommend that for a lot of people. Now, they are cute, the NV200s. They're not a car. They don't have a sunroof and stuff, but they're cute. And it's a good compromise where you have some comfort and privacy, like ESP shared, but you also still have fuel efficiency. But you don't have a place to park, but you can stealth camp in that thing. But you don't have temperature control. And you don't have a kitchen. And even if you had a kitchen, what I've learned is when you live in a car, you don't want to store too much food. A couple reasons. One is you don't have that much room. Two is you're going to get bugs, especially in the summer. And three is it's just not reality. Again, once in a while you have a can of soup, you have some beans, but living in a car it's not reality to be storing and eating food in it regularly. You're going to be eating out more. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I did a video, you're going to be eating like a king or eating like a queen. You go to Starbucks whenever you want. Go to, the grocery store whenever you want. Now, the downside is you're spending just as much money in an apartment, but you don't have the convenience of an apartment. You're eating your profit. I did a video, a lot of Door Dashers and people who Uber, why don't they get ahead? Because they eat away their profit. They go and they eat out. You see that, guys? Cop just pulled someone over. Okay. So remember, guys, you're eating away your savings living in your car. And instead of looking out your balcony, you're looking behind you and a cop just pulled someone over. That's the reality. Now, some people don't give you the reality. You got Nate from Element Van Life. He does all these edited videos. He buys a new camper van, and he's in a hotel, then he's in his girl's house. Bob Wells, he camps out in the middle of nowhere, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes at his mom's house. Nomadic Fanatic guy's in a huge ass RV. He's in campgrounds most of the time. He got kicked out that one area. He was talking about stealth parking. And there's some destitute people that they're just living in their van. But I don't know. Look, I do see a lot of nomads in Florida. I saw one today from Wisconsin in an old van, female. So, look, it can be done, but it's not necessarily a big savings. It's not, it's minimalism, but it's not necessarily a big savings. What it is a different lifestyle. I like the lifestyle, but it's different. And that's what you have to see if you want to do. This is ESP. She goes, food is a huge cost, the biggest cost of being on the road. And I think even when you're living in a house, it's a huge cost. People underestimate it. She goes, I didn't eat leftovers. Now I can reheat them and eat meals while I cook in advance. No, you nailed it, ESP. I mean, that's what I think about too. Like, if I get this camper van, if I get a RV, I would make a conscious effort to eat somewhat more, buy groceries, and use the refrigerator that's in the RV, use the stovetop. Because if not, why'd I buy the RV? And then, I don't know, I struggle with that a little bit because I really don't like to cook and clean. So, it's tough, Pluto. Sammy, the alternative for me would be to move into a room and deal with psychopaths. No, thank you. I hear you. Laughing. I rent a studio apartment, I would be able to save, as my net income monthly is 4,500. Yeah, look, you're talking about, like me, you like the lifestyle. You like to live totally unencumbered as much as possible. You're willing to deal with the sacrifices of the road. And as long as you can meet your financial objectives, you're doing you. And I understand it. I do. Pluto. I have to stay focused until I start earning around 6K per month after tax. No, I hear your focus. And obviously, look, you're young enough, you're healthy enough, you have the wherewithal, you have the desire. So why, as long as you're not unhealthy, as long as you're not putting yourself in too much risk and you're able to do it, again, to each their own. I mean, it sounds like at least you have stability with your income, with your habits, and you're trying to focus on your routine, focus on, that's good, Kathy. Since I adopt a minimalism, every time I bought a thing, I would throw one thing out. I also start to focus more on the quality of the stuff that I buy so I don't need to replace them frequently. Yeah, that's an interesting comment, Kathy, because I struggle with that sometimes. Like sometimes I rather buy something cheap so if it breaks, I don't care. At the same time, I empathize with your comment about quality because when you buy something with a higher quality, it tends to last longer and it retains its value, and you get out of this like negative algorithm of living in poverty. Sometimes the negative part about minimalism is you adopt a poverty mindset. And I mean, you could even make the argument that I'm living a life of poverty. Now, I eat whenever I want. I'm not in poverty. I'm not destitute. But I am, other than my food cost, I am living in poverty. Okay. Because, I'm living the most primitive life you can live, okay, other than living on an alley. So I really am aware that the minimalistic life induces a lot of preppers, a lot of people who live below their potential, and they're in this poverty algorithm where I'll just keep focusing on cutting my expenses. I'm not going to put any effort into increasing my income. And that's not minimalism, that's poverty. So, again, I live it, so I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I'm sharing what I feel. But I also, look, I increase my income too, so I'm not living that, so I can't say I'm living that mindset. You got to be very careful with that, man. Now, again, if you don't have the ability, I understand it. If you're in an emergency, I understand it. But I think it's very dangerous, especially for a younger or middle-aged person that has the physical and mental ability to only focus on downsizing and not upsizing their career. You're only going to get ahead if you downsize your expenses and upsize your potential in earning. Or else, what a lot of younger and middle-aged people don't realize is you're going to end up old, have nothing in Social Security, have nothing in savings, and it's going to be a negative algorithm. Oh my God, Eggert, Bree, IG private now? Damn, guess I'm on NoFab now. Well, I don't know, it may be public. Bree's beautiful though. Thank you, Eggert. Keep it up with Bree. Let's see what she says. Private because my ex. I understand. Laughing, but Sam is welcome. Well, no, I understand completely. I love you, Bree. I respect you. It's tough. Look, guys, I empathize with how hard it is mentally to share your life publicly. I understand it. When I did my first YouTube video, I told someone I knew in real life, and I said, well, don't tell no one. I said, I did the video, but don't tell everyone. And he goes, Sam, how are you going to do a YouTube video, market public, and tell me not to tell anyone? It doesn't make sense. But I don't know, man. It's just how I felt. You're getting away from your ex and it's very hard. When I talk about minimalism, I don't know. Well, there's two reasons why people can't move on from their ex. Number one, the main reason is an emotional attachment, which coincides with if you really separate from them, you are accepting a death. Because if you're really going to move on from someone, change your number, and never go back to that level of intimacy, what you're saying is they're dead to me. You know, not maybe in the Shark Tank Mr. Wonderful way, like you're dead to me mean, but like you're pretty much saying, look, I accept that I'm never going to be there with that. And that's very hard to accept. Most people will never do that. And then the other reason why people don't do it is a financial entanglement. They don't have enough money to live on their own, and they need someone else. And that's the reality of life, you know. And, you know, that's the negative part about not working. You know, and some people can't work, but again, if you can't work and you have a serious disability, you need to get on subsidized housing. I really believe that if you couldn't work, or if you were elderly and you were in poverty, you know, even though subsidized housing ain't going to be ideal, it's better, in my opinion, it's better than living with someone else. So, thank you again, Edgar, man. You've been very encouraging in all your comments. Thank you. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Pluto. Appreciate you guys, man. Let me go back to the live comments. Let's take a hydration break, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you for watching. Where were we at? Pluto. I read. Oh no, did I read that? Yeah, basically Pluto was saying. Oh, I read that. Yeah, he wants to stay focused till he makes 6K. Yeah, Kathy was talking about minimalism, throwing out one thing before she acquires another. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I read those. Thank you again, guys. Yeah, so I guess in conclusion, you know, I hope my words and talking some things out tonight, like I do every night, I hope they help you. You know, they help me. And that's it. You know, I keep my mouth shut because I did the message. I don't need to stretch it out. Bottom line is, minimalism can help you, but it's very hard to get to and stay to. And the negative part about minimalism is you could get caught in a poverty algorithm if you don't focus on your income. Mental health affects us all because we're all human. Some have deep psychological issues, but we all have some issues. And you'd be a fool to go to Planet Fitness every day to work on your physical health, which helps your mental health. Working out helps you mentally. But you'd be a fool to just focus on that and then not focus on other things in your life, financial, materialism, relationships, etc. You know, it's like you got to try to address yourself and not your ex or your lover or your parent or society. The hardest person you have to work with is yourself. And I think one of the reasons that minimalism is hard for many people, because what happens if you strip everything away from your life? All you're left with is you. No distractions. Okay. And the only person looking back at you is the person in the mirror in Planet Fitness. Okay. And that may be scary for some people. And that's why some people end up picking up a new girlfriend at the gym. Have I seen a couple girls I like to date at the gym? Oh yeah, big time. Okay. But I said to myself, I'm not here to pick up a girl. I'm here to pick up weights. You know. But that's the problem with minimalism. You go somewhere, you go to Walmart, you're not there to pick up a coffee maker. You were there to pick up a bag of chips, some noodles. You go to the gym, you wasn't there to pick up a new girl. You was there to pick up a 20-pound weight belt. And you go to a car lot to look around. You wasn't there to pick up a new SUV. Next thing you know, you got 84 months of payments. Same thing with an RV. Now you got 20 years of payments. Now I walked away from an RV twice. Got cars several times. But I think about that. Never just aimlessly go looking. And if you do, I'm not saying never do that, but I'm saying if you do, you got to be really focused to walk away. Because when you go looking for a big purchase, or even if you go to the gym, you have to really be focused on why are you there. And when I go to the gym, I know why I'm there. I'm there to work out. But I'm over there today. I was in the gym. I listened to Keisha Cole in my earbuds. And I saw a girl come by me with some yoga pants. I said, oh my God. Why was I here again? And I just smacked the shit out of myself, man. That's emotion. Nothing to do with logic. Okay. So, and that's where most people, man, it's very hard, man. So, all right, guys and girls, peace.